There's a new feature that came out in the Hunter Classic recently, and that is the skull or European mount for animals. Well, I thought it'd be super cool if we could go out here on Loggers Point and maybe find something worthy of getting a skull mount. It almost looks like a coyote. It is a coyote, that's why. Well, if we had the proper ammo, we could take that down. And I still kind of want to, because if we can lay prone here, then we should be able to use the bipods. Alright, now we just gotta find them. Well, that didn't work out so good, now did it? It's weird though, I can see it right there. But I can't see it through there. Oh, I see it now. Well, that's one way to drop them. That right there is indeed one way to drop them. And we got a hog taking off up there too. Which, that's gonna do a pretty good job. I don't think we dropped him, but then again, how, like, where could he have gone? Maybe we did drop him. Yeah, because I was gonna say, the only thing that could have happened is maybe he popped out of render, but that's only 250 yards, and render's like 300, so there's no reason for him to just pop out of render like that. Or I should say, to disappear like that. And got a shoulder blade shot, 18.2 kgs, 40.2. Okay, so our hog was right over here on the top of this ridge. Fresh tracks, and that's a lung hit. What? How? I gotta figure this out. Well, it was a 229 yard Texas heart shot, I guess. I really don't even know how else you could explain that shot. My goodness. The only way we could figure it out is if we find kind of the entrance hole. And I don't really know if we're going to be able to do that. Well, check. Looks like this side has nothing on it. No way. Look right there. Look right there. I can't even believe it. We hit this thing right in the butt. And we made a complete Texas heart shot right there. The penetration was incredible and went all the way through to the other side of the lung. That's amazing. I didn't think the 308 had this much power. Holy. Alright, well now we know. Now we surely know. Alright, here we go. We just got a call from a muley buck down over this next ridge here, and hopefully he's going to be the one that we want. Now we don't want to get something that's too big because it's going to be a bit of a shame to get a skull mount on a 200 plus muley. But hey, if he's a 200 plus, we're for surely taking him down. He just called right over there. Oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. Ooh. Now, the deep grunt like that is typically one of two things. It's either a super tiny buck or a giant. It's never really in between. But then again, you just never really know. Oh, he's a perfect buck. He is a perfect 160 buck. And we smoked him. He's down. There we go, guys. There we go. We got our first skull mount coming up right here. That is going to be a good buck for the wall. And I was totally wrong about the estimate on that thing. I was saying it's either going to be tiny or huge, and it was right in between. Exactly what we were looking for. Alright, now we got to figure out what we can do to get him European mounted. most likely we can pick them up. First off, that's gonna be a 150 buck. 145 and double long shoulder blade shot. So taxidermize. Oh, here we go. We can get a skull mount right here. Now, what if I told you that we accidentally didn't quite have enough money to be able to get that thing skull mounted? And, well, I was hoping we could get it mounted after, because typically you can mount it within 24 hours after you get it from the home screen. And we were able to mount it, but we couldn't skull mount it. So that means we have to get back out there in hopes of finding another skull mount potential buck. And I think we can do it. Right there, come on. There's no way we can't see him. Right there. Oh, I see him. He is one of the smallest bucks you could imagine. Oh, but there's a whole herd of them. Oh my God, there's a whole herd of them. No way, there's a good buck. Decent buck. Boy, not much for big ones. But there's for surely a borderline skull mounter there. Looks like there's two 150s. 135. This is actually kind of a rare occurrence. Typically, you don't see them feeding like this. Huh. Well, either way, the one that we want is gonna be this one right here. And he actually does have a sticker as well. Okay, let's go for a shot on him. And we're gonna get our first European mount. Of course he's gonna turn as soon as we take the shot. Of course, because why wouldn't he? Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. That's not gonna take him down, unfortunately. Can you say 0 for 2? Oh, wow. Ooh, what do we find out here? We got a call from a muley buck. Right down over there. Now, I'm thinking what we may do... Oh, look at that. There lays our buck. I didn't think he'd go down from that shot. I really didn't. But somehow I guess he did. And if that's the case, we can try and call on this other deer. We're gonna pick up this buck. But because we have decent cover, we're gonna go over here, get on top of this rock, and then get ready for these bucks. Alright, but here we go. Our first European mount is about to take place. That's a good buck for a skull mount. He's a 130 buck. Oh, maybe not. 118? I mean, I guess we're dropping down a little bit, but we gotta do it. We gotta do it. We're getting our first European mount right there. Hopefully the next one's a good bit bigger than that, but I don't know. He's got a cool rack. Even though he's not a 130 plus, he still has a pretty cool, unique looking rack. So we'll get him skull mounted no matter what. Well, I'm not really seeing much, which is a bit odd. But maybe... Oh, that's him. That's yet again another one. Holy. I mean, we can see really good from here. So I'm thinking we just lay tight right here and wait for him to continue on out across this meadow. Oh, I see a rack. I see a rack coming out across. Holy, that's a little too big for a skull mount. Oh my God, that's a big buck. Well, we got ourselves a 190 out here coming in. And that is going to be a heck of a European mount right there. Look at, he's coming in with this absolute tiny spiker of a buck. I believe we got a call from 3 different muleys over here. So we should probably hang tight a little bit longer, but then again, I don't know, this buck is coming in pretty perfect. Yeah, if he stops, it's gonna be extremely difficult to pass this up. And we're not going to. We're gonna drop him right there. Holy, what a buck. I can't believe we just got a 119 skull mounted. And then all of a sudden we got a 190 buck right here that we just piled up. Now that's gonna be a heck of an interesting transition in sizes there. Holy. We're gonna have a 119 next to a pretty much 190. Look at that rack. My goodness. It might be a 200 plus. I mean, look at that G2 there. I bet that's a 193. Well, let's pick him up. It's gonna be a 196. Holy, I remember when this game first came out, and my biggest buck for the longest time was a 193. So the fact that we broke that already on a potential skull mounter is just absolutely unbelievable. So we're getting him skull mounted. And then we're definitely taking a heck of a trophy shot. Man, look at that buck. Oh. All right, right there it's gonna be. Right there it's gonna be. Awesome. Oh, I mean, at this point, there's really no sense in hunting anymore. Let's just get back and go take a look at our first skull mount. And technically second as well. One thing I do want to check is to make sure that there wasn't another one in this herd. Just to double check. Alright, so it took me a while to figure out where all the skull mounts are actually at, and what I had to do is go into one of the older style trophy lodges, and then from here I was then able to find all these down here on the bottom, which shows pretty much a lot of different types of animals. For instance, you got roe deer, elk, roe deer probably, red deer, mule deer, reindeer, blacktail maybe, and coos deer or something. I don't know, it's hard to tell. But what I do know is we have both of our skull mounts right here, our tiny cool looking 118 muley and our monster 196. So now we're gonna put it in place. Well, I've been doing a little bit of research here, and it shows that we technically need to buy a whole new lodge in order to put our skull mount up. We have to buy this Texas Trophy Lodge for 2,900 EMs. Now we have 470, and I just paid $5 to get that. But if you look here, it shows on the very bottom 16 skull mounts for the wall, 8 skull mounts for the table, and then we got all these things as well. But if you look at the other trophy lodges, it doesn't show anything about skull mounts. So therefore, they want us to buy a whole new trophy lodge just to put our skull mount in it. And I'm not gonna do that. I'm just not gonna. So we have a European mount of a beautiful muley, but unfortunately, we're not gonna get a chance to see it. At least for now. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you next time. Like, this is total BS. You're seriously wanting us to spend 2,900 cash for this thing, when I already have 3 of these and 3 of these. This is just a little bit unacceptable.